Well, welcome to this afternoon session. So we're starting with a special invited talk, and I'd like to invite Tsotsos up to do the introduction.
Given that Julio couldn't make it, there was a few extra minutes, so I asked if I could have a formal opportunity just to thank all of you for attending. As all of you know who've been affiliated with John, we are really his we are his biologic family, but you guys are all his academic family. And many of you have seen the academic family tree that's out there. I noticed there have been a few updates to it, so please feel free to add, and then we will have a final version that will be communicated to all of you. I want to thank all of you for coming out. I want to thank the speakers for speaking. I want to thank those of you that have traveled from far away. And we have a lot of people that sent messages. There have been a few where they've had personal illnesses or family illnesses or other complications and weren't able to attend. But they've all been sending their best wishes to John, so it's been really quite lovely. I am Pat, and I met John on January the 7th, 1979. We had a family connection in that John's father and my mother were both born in the same region of Greece. So his aunt and my mother were best friends. His uncle and my uncle were best friends, but because John grew up in Windsor, Ontario, I didn't actually meet him until I was 20 and he was 26. We met because of his mother. She saw me standing next to my mother in church and went over to John in the choir loft and said, "This is that girl I was telling you that just applied to med school. Come, I'm introducing you to her." And he said, "Mom, leave me alone. I don't want to go." And she said, "You're coming." So I want to thank her very much. A month later, it was my mother's turn. She saw John across the parking lot at church and said, "I'm going over to his mother to give her the phone number." And I said, "Thank you, Mom." And then we went out for our first date, which was actually Chinese food. And to this day, I'm convinced he was looking at my fine motor, eye-hand. But I must have passed the test, except when I tried as a dutiful girlfriend and fiancée to help him with his thesis, and every time I would try to type out his thesis, I accidentally kept hitting the delete button. But he eventually got it done. We got married on June the 7th, 1980. On June the 9th, he convocated. And at our wedding, one of our ushers actually did a beautiful speech where he talked about a letter that John had received from the president of the university, congratulating him on receiving the highest the highest honor that the university can bestow, which is the PhD degree. And since I was getting my MD degree, the punchline of the joke was that on our wedding day, I got the best degree of all, was that I was getting my MRS degree. So it has truly been an honor being John's Mrs. Tsotsos. Our collaborations in 1985 and 1989 were highly successful, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce your special invited speakers, Dr. Leah Tsotsos and Dr. Konstantine Tsotsos.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming, and thank you to the organizers for the invitation to speak at this auspicious event. My name's Konstantine. This is my sister Leah. You're going to be hearing a lot today, and you already have been from John's academic descendants, and we thought it would be great to give you a bit of perspective from his biological descendants as well. And so we'd like to share with you a few lessons from JKT at 65.
Now, some years ago, our father was asked to describe how to successfully pursue a career in research. The way that he decided to answer this was to create a scalable recipe for a 10-kilogram research career. 10 kilograms, no idea where that came from, but it sounds pretty big, so that's pretty good. And essentially, he was telling us what he thinks we should all be paying attention to. See what it did there? His key ingredients are the 10 listed here: passion, community, communication, competition, luck. It's available on his website if you want to look at the details more closely. But our goal for this presentation will be to demonstrate how our father has taken these particular attributes and values and has used them to guide the growth and development of his own career and that of those around him. I can't keep saying our father, though. That just sounds a little bit awkward. John, Dr. Tsotsos, Professor Tsotsos.
I don't know, Leah. This is a pretty good list. I think it's missing the Uzo on it, though.
Noted. So
Let's
amendment recommendation number 11 is Uzo, and we'll go with John.
So passion for technology and exploration is something that's always been really, really behind a lot of John's actions. And we can see this, even from a very early age, he was predicting touchscreens before everyone else and was trying to make it happen. That TV may not be on though, or
I'm
even
not sure.
be real. So that may have delayed it a little bit, but we got there eventually. And this passion has not abated at all. These are a pair of speakers that John built and has been maintaining on his own for decades. And they're actually phenomenal speakers. I love them.
Yep. So next up in his recipe is focus. And John has always been very ambitious, and part of ambition is the ability to focus on what your goals are. As part of these aspirations, he's followed the old adage of dressing for the job you want, not the one you have. As you can see, in his early years as a professor, he aspired to be a Roman emperor. He quickly realized that this may not be feasible, as that civilization had crumbled some time ago, and then he set his sights on something perhaps more attainable, the role of Santa Claus. Upon learning that this position was filled and was not likely to become vacant in the near future, he persevered and leveraged his love of gardening and nature in an attempt to become a beekeeper. Personally, we're fond of the distinguished research professor outfit that he's wearing today. I want to highlight that the common thread in all of this is his persistence and willingness to try new things in the pursuit of his goals.
John has always had the confidence to command attention. And as we can see, this confidence has extended to his ability to travel in style, as you can see from this photo of him riding a donkey on the island of Santorini up winding cliffs. And this has continued to help him when he gets upgraded to first class and gets to travel in style while traveling on all of his research trips. We had thought about making some joke about him not donkeying around when he travels, but we figured we wouldn't make asses of ourselves.
Told you.
Sorry.
Stop. Next. Now, it's really important in research environment in particular to create a strong community of researchers, collaborators, and contributors to partner with. John has done this exceedingly well in the past, recruiting the best and brightest to be on his team, many of whom are in this room today. Okay, so that's me and my brother. We're not the best and the brightest necessarily. But I would like to point out that we were working late into the night on what was certainly important work of John's. So we think that we deserve co-authorship credit on some of those early papers that were published.
Funnily enough, that's still how I sometimes sit on chairs.
I think you have an issue. I also wanted to highlight the opportunities when John has let his team shine. This is the way that we reduce the productivity of his whiteboard sessions by fully 100%. In the mid-90s, apparently my brother and I really liked science and soccer and Greece. And John was very gracious and didn't let anyone erase that. I don't know why, but he allowed that to stay on, and I'm sorry to say that our visual art skills have not improved since that day. Sven, your line drawing person, is way better than we ever were.
The ancient Greeks were big proponents of healthy mind, healthy body, and having everything in moderation. And as part of his plan for a successful research career, John has striven to maintain this attribute and to go for maintenance of body, mind, as much as possible. And in the course of maintaining the body, John is a big proponent of cooking lots of delicious food, from Greek loukoumades to lobster. And of course, if you're going to be eating all of this food, you must also maintain by exercising and going outside and going fishing and going canoeing and drinking coffee with snowmen, apparently.
It's a very Canadian exercise, I guess.
Reasonably Canadian, yeah. And maintenance of the mind as well by making sure you get enough sleep. This photo was taken at the Louvre, where our parents were consolidating all of the learnings that they had gotten from history and culture by having a solid nap under the watchful eye of this statue.
Now, John's advice is really to seize all the opportunities that life presents you. And we think that he's doing an excellent job of doing that in one particular way. We're proud also to note that we have taken this lesson in particular straight to heart and are pleased to be doing the same on a regular basis. John also recommends, in the course of competition, that you stay hungry in your research careers and keep your competitive edge by working with a sense of urgency in everything that you do. When it's your time to seize that opportunity, make sure that you step up to the plate.
Even the university agrees. And it is his time, and as you can see here, he looks fierce. He looks academically aggressive. I really love this photo. I love this photo.
We know he hates this photo, but it was a slide about competition, and we couldn't find any funny ones from him doing sports as a kid. So we decided we would go with this one instead.
They swear they used to play tennis.
Right.
We couldn't find a photo of you two playing tennis. So we went for this. And this competitive drive.
It's his time. It's your time.
Keeps you all going. So John says that luck is about putting yourself in the right place at the right time and being observant. Fun fact, according to our mother, every time we would go on a family vacation to an American theme park, we would run into one of John's colleagues. They're on vacation with their families. And this is, of course, fantastic for networking and building fruitful collaborations like this one.
That's Goofy. That's not a...
Very observant, Leah, but let's be real, you would love a collaboration with Goofy.
Also true. Anyone in the room who can make that happen?
Or any member of
Talk to me after the break.
Disney pantheon. The last key ingredient of John's list is humanity. We've been fortunate enough over the years to be able to join in many of the research successes of John and his students, and it's been fantastic to be a part of that. John has been amazing about making sure he's always there to help us celebrate ours as well. He also seems to really enjoy wearing his graduation robes. Pretty good look. It's a pretty good look.
It's not bad. We'll take it. So now we've reached the end of his key recipe ingredients as he's listed them, but John kept the real secret ingredient to himself. However, in the interest of open source data and academic freedom, we will share it with you here. The secret is teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, and finding a life partner who will be part of that journey for you is really what makes all the elements come together. So there's a shout out to our mom, and so for all the contributions that she has made to JKT at 65 and his research career.
And as members of this team, we'd like to share with you a few more photos of the gang over the years.
Yeah.
Gosh darn, we were cute back then.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened?
What happened? And in spite of his seeming transparency and his willingness to be a guide and a mentor for other people, John is still keeping secrets from us. The very, very final and even more top secret ingredient is this. If you ever have a chance to sit with some snacks and a bottle of wine, overlooking the ocean, to ponder the meaning of life, or the meaning of computational vision and attention, and how it fits into biological systems, do it. Investing the time to seriously consider your work and how it fits into the broader scheme of things, that's the real secret to a 10-kilogram research career. And I think it's the secret to what our father's enduring passion and commitment for the work, where that has really come from.
Happy birthday, JKT. Here's to... Here's to all that you've taught us over the years, and to all of your tremendous accomplishments. Thank you.
Cheers. That's all. Thank you.